Let's do some news. My name is Mike B. Today's date is July 3rd, 2020. Observed Independence Day holiday for the U.S. So a lot of people are probably off today or out celebrating in large groups. I don't know why I turned that off, but it still works. But thank you so much, Derigar. I don't understand. Streamlabs doesn't work when Slobs, I guess, is running. So there you go. Hi, YouTube. Thank you. All right, so listen. Today is gonna be a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. Today's gonna be a tough one. Last week we dealt with a lot of Twitch drama, a lot of industry drama. This week we obviously have a lot of follow up with some of that Twitch drama. But I feel like there is a silver lining. I feel like there is a silver lining to some of the stuff that's been happening lately, and we'll talk about that in a second. But first, we should talk about Reckful. So Reckful, as probably a lot of you guys know, first off, Reckful was a very well-known PvPer back in the early World of Warcraft days. He made a handful of videos that got pretty popular. Think like Swifty, like he'd make a bunch of handful of videos doing arenas or doing just world PvP or whatever. And it was the typical kind of PvP videos that you would expect from a rogue. lots of music, lots of heavy music, and lots of just a compilation of just ganging people and all that stuff. But as somebody who, early on in my, WoW career, I was a rogue until I found the warrior ways. But yeah, I was a rogue. And so somebody like Reckful was a creator that I looked up to because I made videos for my stuff. Finding somebody that had the video editing skills and the in-game skills was like a treat. It was a treat. You guys remember World of Roguecraft? Like, that shit was amazing. So finding people that can make videos demonstrating the skill but also the videos were fun to watch. That's a great combination. So that kind of aided in Reckful's initial kind of surge in popularity. Reckful actually became probably one of the first big Twitch streamers, back in 2011, 2012. This is around the time that I was doing RBGs. I posted a handful of tweets last night where I talk a little bit about my encounters with Reckful. I did not know him personally. I know a lot of people in the industry, and I know a lot of people that were close to him. But my personal experience with him was basically encountering him in RBGs, and I actually had a VOD that I recorded and uploaded some 8 years ago to my old WoW Fony channel, where if you could see you can see from the receiving end what it's like to go up against Reckful and his Hey I'm MVP team, and let me tell you, like, watching it again, it was. First off, it was a nostalgia trip, because I loved playing with those guys. We had great synergy. We were really good. We were like really, really, really good. But then you go up against a team with Reckful in it, and you just see just another level of skill that is just that is on par with us. And granted, I didn't really appreciate the way that turned out. We did tie, but given the way that the RBG system worked, they got the last cap, so they got the win. I didn't really appreciate that. but you know what though? Like, we definitely learned from that encounter, because a lot of times we get into a fight and you're a little mad for you, yeah. They're mad for me, yes. Thank you. I'm glad somebody feels that pain. But we learned that, okay, we need to find a solution to the problem that we encountered there that we didn't encounter with anybody else. We had no issues with getting cloned on the fucking flag points with anybody else, and now it's like, okay, this is something new. We need to figure out how to do this. Purge is something. We need to figure out some way to resolve this issue. And so that was my experience with him, was watching his videos and then encountering him in a game, being a little starstruck because of that, and then learning from the experience. And so even with me, I feel like, even though I didn't know him personally, like I did take something from him in terms of or he gave me something. He gave me something to help modify our team or whatever, however you want to say it. And so, yeah, I got something out of that. And so yesterday with the news of him passing suddenly, it was jarring. It was jarring because this is not, he's not a friend, he's just a dude. I don't know him personally or anything. I didn't follow any of his work after the fact. But the news of his passing and seeing how many people come out and are just kind of like, I mean, take a look at this. This is Asmongold's video here. But he went in, and this is just one instance where, people are gathering, to basically show respects to Reckful in game. And this was happening across several servers in several locations. And yeah, it's just, there's some like phasing shit going on here or something weird. And it's just, it's tragic. It's tragic, mental health is obviously a topic of discussion that comes up every time this happens. And I would say that, now more than ever, when we're talking about, if you have friends that you haven't checked up on in a while, I know we're used to seeing your friends all the time or whatever. If you have in real life friends, or coworkers that maybe you keep in touch with, or maybe that you like to go into lunch with them or something like that. Maybe they're not a friend, they're like a colleague that you are close to. I would say, reach out to them. Reach out to them and just see how they're doing, especially if they're in the game. If there's somebody that in the gaming community that maybe you play with every once in a while, and maybe you haven't been playing with lately because for whatever reason they have less time now than they did before the pandemic. You reach out to them and see how they're doing, because right now, like, things are like, people are stressed out. Like, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, and then to have the coronavirus 1, and then BLM 2, and then Me Too 3, that should have been 2. Just having all of these things happening simultaneously, and then the elections if you live in the States, or if you live in the UK, you have your own people over there that you have issues with. Congratulations, by the way, UK. I believe you guys are opening tomorrow. That's going to be great. But having all of these stressors stacked really, really, weighs people down. Really weighs people down. And some people are just not as mentally equipped to shrug it off as others are. So if you feel like, if you're one of those guys and maybe you feel like, I'm fine, fuck's wrong with these pussies, right? Which I hate to say it like that, but I know the people out there who fucking say that. You have to really try fucking hard to understand that not everyone can deal with that. It's too much, but we're exposed to it everywhere we go. We can't do anything without being exposed to one of these stressors, right? It's everywhere. And there are people, even in our own Discord, there are people who look at, we have a Shitty Earth channel on Discord, which I know a lot of you guys here already know what that is. But for those who don't, Shitty Earth is where we keep, discussion about politics and Twitch drama and just general industry drama, the Me Too stuff, BLM, related to the protests and everything. We try to keep all that stuff together because I recognize that all those things are stressors, and people want to come to gaming related stuff or gaming related communities to escape these things. And so you want to escape the stresses of daily life to your favorite gaming community, but at the same time, you can't, because your gaming community is made up of a bunch of people that want to talk about this stuff. And so, people will just mute that channel, so it's like, so that helps to some degree, but then sometimes it still leaks out. Or maybe you check Twitter and you see a retweet from something that maybe you're just like, fuck, man, it's everywhere. And so, yeah, you just can't, like I said, going back, you can't, not everybody is equipped to deal with being constantly bombarded with, this negativity left and right. Even myself, I've checked out of, a Twitter for the longest time. I switched to another app that didn't have a good, it was a terrible app actually. But I switched to another app that didn't have the Explore feature, so you couldn't see what's trending and all that. And I loved it, man. I did that for a bit, but then after a while, I felt like I was, I felt like I was removing myself from being able to observe a culture that exists purely on Twitter, and from more of like a data perspective, seeing how people act and how they react to certain things, which in most cases it's pathetic. Like, honest, especially with the pandemic, it's pretty fucking pathetic what people say on Twitter. I don't want to wearing a mask goes against my constitutional rights. Oh my god, I just saw that this morning, and I'm just like, I see that so often. But you learn to filter it. But again, some people can't handle all that. So, I don't know if that's the case with Reckful, or if there was other underlying things on top of the pressures of everything else. But I could say that, I'm sure that all of these things probably didn't help. And, it's the decision that he made yesterday was a tragic one, and a lot of people are going to miss him, both personally and professionally. And all we could do is try to look at what happened, look at the environment, the community, and start to make changes. Start to do something to make life a little bit easier, a little more tolerable. And just ignore comments. It'll be fine. I know. You have an alternate account on Twitter that use pretty much all the time. That nothing but just fun stuff most of the time. There you go. Reckful had been open about his mental struggles for a while. He took a break like 3 years ago. That's right. Yeah, he was also on Dr. K's show, openly talking about getting like open therapy. That was what they called it. And this open therapy was an open therapy session was basically a means to, one, for him to get some kind of help, and two, to also show other people who were watching. Because at first I was like, why are you doing like this open therapy? It's supposed to be private. But I understand. It's like you wanted to do it so the other people would see it and see that there's no stigma to it. Like you could go and talk to somebody about your problems. Yes. This is the Beast Titan. Hey, buddy, listen to me. I love you, but right now I'm doing news. I have to focus on my news. Show me real quick what this is, but then you gotta go. The Beast Titan. The Beast Titan. That thing is huge, dude. Thank you for sharing. I love you. I love you, buddy. So yeah. Anyways, like I was saying. It is, there's a lot of stressors out there, and it'd be nice if we could find some way to kind of scale it back a little bit and figure out some kind of balance where we're not putting pressure on everybody for every little thing. And we're going to talk about some of that shit today. I know it derailed by a 7-year-old. I know. I love you guys too. He definitely brings the love. That's for sure. So let's go to, now, first off, earlier this week, I said I dread doing drama shows. And I'm saying this now and not at the beginning of the show because I don't want you guys to think that I consider what happened with Reckful to be drama. That's a tragedy. That's stuff that we will talk about when it comes up, of course. Drama is people that are just dicks, and then we call them out on it. And I've been one to do that. I've been one to do that from time to time, calling people out on their bullshit. Of course, but I feel like we got kind of out of hand recently. What is this link you're sending me? Is this related to anything we're talking about right now? Hold on. Okay, yeah, that's yeah, it is and it isn't. It's not something I need to share, but thank you for sharing that for chat. I would say, oh, you know what though? No, you know what? Let me, because the responses to that, well, I will include that in the notes. So that link that Darvin shared, so did I get that right? Dwarvin shared. It's basically a link from Reckful's one remaining brother out of 3. And in the thread, it actually has a whole bunch of just like moments that people have shared with Reckful. And it is something that you should go through and check out if you have the time. Please do. All right, so yes, I said that I didn't want to do drama like every week. I don't like doing it. I like reporting the news. I like reporting what industry stuff people are doing, like companies. I like, reporting what dev studios are working on. Occasionally we get a story that's drama and we'll eat it up and that's fine, But when it's like consecutive weeks of just nonstop drama, I kind of end up feeling like, I don't want to be like some kind of budget Keemstar, that's not what I'm trying to do. I don't feel like we need to stir the pot just for the sake of doing it and just, getting clicks or anything like that. And so I don't necessarily want to like dedicate every episode to doing it, but this week we're going to talk about it because I feel like there's a silver lining here. Keem lights. Yeah, exactly. So earlier in the week, we had an encounter on Twitter. It started off with with XQC, relatively popular streamer, talking about streamers making money for doing charity streams, getting paid to do charity streams, and it went from being a comment that was taken out of context, and it turned into this. A huge thread of replies and back and forth between a ton of people. All because something was taken out of context and turned into, and even this guy says right here, it says, this is where it should have ended. It started off right here where we had Dr. Lupo talking about, he says, from an r/livestream fail post on Reddit regarding XQC stating that a majority of streamers get paid to do charity streams. I've never been paid to raise money for St. Jude. I just want to make sure that was clear. And so it started off with that. And then he said this topic went out of control and some of it was severely out of context, but I think most people understood that top of the line charities with good charity navigator score doesn't operate this way as far as I know. And so he said, gotcha, all I saw was a clip. So that's on me for not watching what was before after. And again, that's where even this gentleman here in LSF says this is where it should have ended, but it didn't. Jessica Blevins, wife of Ninja, got in and she had some things to add to the conversation, and she says this guy always has some trash to say. I've literally never heard of a single streamer getting paid to raise money, and per FTC rules, if they were, it would have to be easily known to the public. Keep doing amazing things. And so XQC took offense to that and started responding. So they go back and forth a little bit. She says, I thought this was kind of funny, albeit rude. She says, I was waiting for your response. Enjoy your day, QVC. Hope you're doing, still seeing you doing, I don't know, whatever. It's a very kind of a shitty response given that she butted into the conversation. So it devolved into Ninja, which I don't have a screenshot of it because the tweet's deleted. Backhanded response. Yes, thank you, Mo. Ninja responds with, and I'll read it here. It says, you have zero clue the amount of work Jess does for our family and our business, and when she wants to buy a Gucci bag, she fucking can because she worked for it. We have donated millions to charity and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. Stop being a piece of shit. And so it keeps on going. Goes. And it just turned into this pathetic back and forth, and then everybody starts getting involved. Slasher made a comment in here, Jessica Blevins and them going back and forth. Alinity chimes in. She says, oh, this is an easy bet. Team Ninja loses easy. They're talking about, because Slasher said, this calls for XQC plus Adept versus Ninja and J Ghosty 2v2 in Black Ops 3 for charity. And so Alinity says, Team Ninja loses easy. And then Ninja responds with, don't you have another cat to abuse? So I don't like reading these like line by line. It feels silly reading these things line by line. It's kind of like we're trying to like analyze every single thing. But I want you to see just how petty, how quickly it got petty and sad. Right? It just devolved into just this elementary school level, just name calling and just no you. No. And then we had it's like high school, exactly. And then the next day on LSF, there was a clip that was posted of Jessica Blevins, and it was the top of LSF. And I subbed to LSF. And which I actually had a Kotaku in Action I subbed to for a while as well, but they just went so far off the deep end I just couldn't hang with them. I never really hung with them. I just like getting the news from a different perspective from every once in a while, but their perspective is ass now. And LSF was very quickly going down that route. Used to be about fails, like as the name would imply, live stream fails. But then the next day after this, there was a clip of Jessica Blevins at the top of LSF, which put it at the top of my feed. And she was, singing some lyrics to a song, and they had the N-word in the song, and she said the N-word. And I was like, and my first response was like, when was this? Like, did she really chastise somebody else for saying some garbage, by saying garbage, and then turn around and stream her dropping the N-word? Like, what the fuck is this? And so I went and I looked, and it turns out it was like a really old clip. It was a really old clip. But the thing is, not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows it, because even my friend sent me the link and was like, hey, did you see this? Can you believe it? And I was like, dude, that's really old. Like, and so it turned into this hate fest for Jessica, which, by the way, I don't feel like she necessarily needed to go off and be all nasty to XQC, but who also did not handle that shit very well. Nobody handled this shit very well. Everyone was being nasty and just pathetic in this feed. But then when Alinity got involved, and then everybody started shitting on Alinity, it became the Alinity show. Not in a good way. It became the Alinity show because Ninja responds to Alinity. Ninja's followers see that, therefore Ninja's followers start to attack. And it's not in a way where he says, hey, yo, go get her, do your thing, internet. It's just because she responded to somebody that's popular that a bunch of other people follow, so they see the interaction in their feed, and so then they jump on it. They start to dogpile. Someone says mob of 12-year-olds. No, they're like 14 now. Come on, it's been a couple of years. And then, Alinity starts talking about, harassment, the harassment that she's been getting, and I'm actually going to go ahead and play this clip for you guys. Let me see. Hold on a second, because I think it's important. We're going to watch this clip together. Is this thing loud enough? I hope so. Let me see.
I just don't know what to do.
Hold up. That's so quiet. You can't even hear. Fix your volume, Alinity.
I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. Do I stop streaming? Is that the only way that people are gonna ever leave me alone? It's my livelihood, And it's been my livelihood for 8 years. What am I gonna do?
Don't listen to trolls. Just accept that you made a mistake because you are a human being.
I have, Jack, but do I really have to read thousands and thousands of messages every day about the mistakes I've made in my past?
The best one is
that really what I have to do?
We'll stop it there. So I know that I could see already that I'm going to be in the minority here, and I'm fine with that. Yes, I have shit on Alinity in the past, absolutely, for some of the things that she has done. She's thrown her cat, and people say, no, she didn't really throw it. I consider it a throw. She's done other things that, maybe I don't necessarily agree with. The throwing the cat thing kind of pissed me off a little bit. But that was a year ago. That was a year ago now, I think. I feel like at this point, if we are still giving her shit for something that she did a year ago, and Twitch and everybody else has already cleared her of anything, the problem is no longer her. The problem is no longer Alinity. The problem is the platform. If you're still butthurt about something she did in another world, before coronavirus, before 2020, before all of this stuff, you really need to divert some of that attention and some of that disdain to the platform. The problem is Twitch. If Twitch had, I know that Alinity has been banned. I know she was banned I think earlier this year or last year or something like that. I don't remember what for. I think it had something to do. It was like a nipple slip or something like that. That's right. It was a nipple slip. And so that was a clear-cut case of, yeah, you can't do that. But I do feel like the Twitch not doing anything about the cat thing, we'll just add that to the pile of things of Twitch not doing. That's where it needs to go. To me, this is beyond the statute of limitations for harassment. Personally, I'm done fucking around with Alinity and her fucking cats. Now the attention needs to be drawn towards Twitch and how they handle things. Tanner says she's been suspended 3 times I know of. There you go. But at the same time, like we should, and at the same time, we should recognize that people like her, and this is just an example because she's related to the story that we're talking about, but you know this happens everywhere else. She gets messages constant. You can't say, just don't read the messages. That's not part of what we do. Part of what we do is we have to read these messages. We can't pre-filter a message before we read the message. We've already read the message. We have to read these messages. We have to read, we could turn off comments. We could do that, but there's no way that we can just completely ignore everybody and just not read feedback. You lose interaction. You lose all this stuff. So it's not, to me, it's not her anymore. This is an issue with a lot of other people that can't let shit go. Mods could do a better job. Sure. It's not the platform giving shit. It's the platform enabling other people to giving shit on her 24/7. Yeah. Ban the toxic scrubs. Do I need to pull up the clip of Twitch chat back in 2016 telling Reckful to kill himself and Reckful crying about it, right? Because he was so hurt by the actions of his own chat. Like, I don't think I need to play that because I think you guys already know that it's real. You guys know it exists. So this level of harassment exists everywhere for everybody. I mean, let's go to Twitter. Hold on a second. Let me open up my search here so I don't. Okay, good. Just want to make sure there's nothing else here. And let's type in. I already actually have it here. Streamer bans Alinity, and so we go to streamer bans Alinity. Let's go to the latest, and you can see basically every single day, several times a day, just people at sending a message to streamer bans will mention Alinity's name. This is a lot. This is just people who are sending a message, replying to something at streamer bans. Okay, this isn't like everything. This is several messages directed towards one account not associated with Alinity. Okay. And it's several times, I'm afraid to scroll any further, honestly, because I didn't really vet the whole thing. But it's several times a day that she gets this. So I can't imagine what she gets on other platforms and in other areas. Alinity is a shit person in general. I said what I said. Sure. You could say that. That's fine. You can have an opinion on somebody if you want. If you think someone's a shit person, that's totally fine. I'm not saying you can't think somebody's a shit person. What I'm saying is if you are still upset at somebody for something they did a year ago on this platform, the problem is and then they did nothing, then the problem is not that person, it is the platform, which is part of everything else that has been happening lately with all this other toxicity bullshit and everything else that's been coming to lights. It's the platforms that are allowing this stuff to happen. Okay. And like I said, you can have your opinion on an individual. That's fine. I'm not saying you can't. You could think someone's a shitty person. Absolutely. But at some point you have to start blaming the system. You start blaming the platform. All right, let me see. So I would say Alinity's response in terms of her being, visibly upset, is very upset about everything that's happening. I would say this is not just her reacting to getting nasty messages related to the ninja thing. I would say this goes back to everything else that's been happening, and this is just on top of that, right? We have a set schedule that we set up for ourselves, right? As a streamer, whether it's 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 3 days a week, whatever it is, we have our own schedules that we make up. We don't have PTO or anything like that. We could take days off pretty much whenever we want, to our own detriment. We could do that. Now, some people will work themselves more than they're capable of because they feel like they're capable of doing it. And so you're going to have people that are going to snap. I mean, like that, like, you know, that's on top of everything else that's happening between, you know, between the economy, coronavirus, whatever you want to stack onto there. You still have people that are shitting on you every time. I mean, here's Alinity has more power on Twitch than the president of the United States. When Alinity gets banned, when is Alinity getting banned? Like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to absorb, even for the thickest skinned of folks. And so, the silver lining here is, you know, I saw this tweet earlier today, yesterday, and this is from Ninja. Ninja says. First it was Slasher. Slasher kind of intervened in there, kind of interjected and said that shit about a 2v2 in Black Ops 3. And so Slasher says, I have deleted my recent Alinity tweet as it contributes to a culture of online bullying and toxicity. I'm sorry, Alinity. And then Ninja says, Sam, I kept looking back at the tweet and saying I wouldn't have sent it if I wasn't a little tilted. I apologize as well, Alinity. It was nice. It was nice to see people recognizing their own misgivings in a heated moment or whatever, and then, you know, apologizing for it and then retracting it however they want to do it, deleting the tweet or whatever. Jessica Blevins' post are still up, by the way, so maybe she doesn't feel sorry for what she wrote. So yeah, it was nice to see this, and it wasn't just Ninja that was having this you know, kind of a moment where a little bit of clarity. It was also LSF who kind of has a it's the wrong thing here. Who starts basically having a little bit of a self-evaluation, and even like right here, this is a new dawn. This is a new thread that was posted earlier today, and basically it goes on. It's basically just discuss how this subreddit is going to go through some changes because they are contributing to toxicity. If we look at some of the top posts for the past year, let me do that for you guys real quick. I already done this earlier. So if I go to top posts, this is in live stream fail. And I look at the top posts for the past, let's go past all time. Go to all time. We go to all time. We see kid baits NBA camera and flashes free Hong Kong shirt. Korean streamer takes character customization whole new level. American Hearthstone University holds up free Hong Kong. Microsoft shutdown Mixer. Andy Milonakis confirms Reckful has committed suicide. We see for the most part stuff that is not directed in a accusing manner towards people. It's just kind of like, here's something a kid did. Here's a Korean streamer who looks just like the character in a game. Here's Doc spotted at NBA game finals 2 in Toronto. Then we go to the past week, and then we see what's here, where we have XQC fires back at Jessica Blevins. Doc ban, update from Doc. Cinepi had a sexual relationship with Puppeh when he was 14. She was 24. And it's become a totally different sub. So even LSF is doing a little bit of, just kind of a little bit of self-reflecting and trying to figure out if this is the direction they want to go. Are they trying to go this you know, the Keemstar route? And so they're looking at ways that they can make changes through changing mods, having better discussions, and with how they moderate things, and so on and so forth. So if a site like LSF can you know, do a little bit of soul searching, no matter how long it lasts, then I feel like all of us as individuals can do the same thing. I seriously think if you can shit on LSF, then and they're trying to make a change for the better, then I feel like you should be capable of making a change and doing a little bit of self-reflecting and figuring out if maybe some of the anger you have towards individuals is maybe not well founded. You understand? I'm not saying you have to like Alinity. That's not what I'm saying here, guys. I hope that's not what your takeaway is. My takeaway is that maybe it's time to redirect some of that anger to where it really belongs. Let me see. Personally, I don't believe any of these people will change, including Alinity and Ninja and all the streamers. The amount of times I see people come out with a let's be better just after a tragedy, only turn back to being a fucking asshole the week after is a large amount of people. And you know what? You know, even in some of the top, there was a thread yesterday where people said, I think, what was it? Where they started talking about, you know, making some changes in the subreddit. And somebody said, this sounds great. unfortunately it'll be back in 3 days. And that was a top comment, because I think people believe that. But if you believe that, then you're not really going to help, but you're not really going to put forth the effort to make any kind of change. I'm not saying for you guys to change LSF. I'm talking about you guys changing yourselves. You're not going to change. You're not going to change Ninja. You're not going to change Alinity. You're not going to change all these people. But you could change how you interact with these people or news surrounding these people. Maybe not perpetuating something that happened, continually bringing up something that happened, a long time ago. Let me see. So, yeah. I know there's probably going to be some comments. There's already some chat comments here that I've missed. I'm sure some folks maybe don't necessarily agree. And I'm sure I'll see it in the YouTube comments as well, which is fine. If the sex was reversed on that Cinnamon Prom, prison would be mentioned a lot more. Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a second, but we should move on. This week we saw, or we actually didn't see, Dr. Disrespect. Twitch, a lot of you guys are already up to date on this, but I still want to talk about it because it's weird. Because this happened where Twitch's channel, or Doc's channel, was banned, and nobody knows why. And that's really weird, because typically things leak. Usually there's a leak of some sort that would, I'm trying to find something real quick while I'm talking here, that would give us a clue to what's happening, and we have not seen anything. So let me go ahead and play the last couple minutes of his VOD from first we'll start at 1:44 on this video here. Hopefully it's loud enough here. Let me see. So Doc is being Doc. Now, I don't watch his streams often. Some people say, oh, this is just regular Doc behavior. But to me, from an outsider perspective, I do see a shift in his demeanor. I do shift am I gonna get a ban for this? It's fucking news. I do see a shift in his demeanor, and I don't understand what happened. But here's what happened.
I can't wait
being himself
till I see.
And then here in about 15 seconds, he's going to pull out his phone and look at his phone. And then after that, things start to get weird. Now, I'm not going to play this entire video. Hold on a second. So here he's getting the text.
It has to happen.
Or a message or something. I don't know what.
Watch me take over. I love it, man. See the self-confidence in the chat? That's what I'm talking about.
It's weird.
The self-confidence of the Champions
It's weird.
Club.
And you know,
all-time high, and don't ever stop.
This little thing right here.
Please don't ever stop.
Some of the stuff he says, it feels very, it just seems strange. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, because just like everybody else, I don't want to be had. I don't want this to come out and be it was all an act. Because then I'll be like, God damn, he got me. But that's fine, because if this is all an act, this motherfucker deserves an award of some sort, because this shit is, yes, it does. It comes across as, please don't give up on me. It does. And so then he starts watching Roblox videos, which I don't know if this is common for Dr. Disrespect, but I've never seen him watch a Roblox video. And then at the end here, I'll go to 7:38 here. He's quiet for a long ass time. We'll rewind a little bit here.
They really don't like being it.
So this, you're hearing audio from the video.
I like being it. Pick me.
Audio from the video that he's watching.
I know, right?
No. David Icke.
I'll be it.
No, bad. No.
I ordered his book too.
Yeah, I want to be
He's finished a conversation he had earlier.
Oh, the backyard, the backyard.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who's it?
I appreciate everyone watching
Who's
today.
it in the backyard? Who is going to be
The
looking?
backyard's tough.
we'll
We
get
don't really, like you said, we don't really know some of the.
Yeah,
We'll
we
get
don't
through
know
this Champions
map
Club.
very well.
I know it's a tough. That's
because I don't know this one well.
life's weird right
Maybe,
now.
maybe, look. Oh,
We'll-
it did.
We'll get through this, okay? And
Hey, Christopher.
Dun dun dun! You better not taunt me. How dare you?
fuck.
He gets a trash.
And that's it. He ends the stream. So it was weird. It was real. This was not a, to me, the actions of somebody who was just signing off of their stream normally. I don't really see that as being a thing. Symptom, thank you so much, by the way. Sorry, I typically have alerts turned off, but thank you, appreciate that. Do have them off, but they're still going. So that was his last stream. He was then banned. And then Timthetatman, who knows him well, he says this.
Did you see Doc's last video? It's either Oscar-worthy performance or something is legitimately concerning. I saw it, man. And a lot of you were asking about Doc. I kind of commented on it earlier. Summary of where I'm at. I don't know any more than you. And I'm just waiting for a statement from someone. And we'll see what happens.
So, we are seeing stuff that's happening. Not only is his channel banned, and all of his emotes and all that stuff were removed, but his subs have been refunded. I don't know if this is common practice because I guess I've not really followed up with anybody who had subbed to somebody who was banned. So I don't know if this is common, but anything with Dr. Disrespect, or anybody on that level is going to make it feel like, oh my God, they did this just for him because he's so big. So we hear about it more, right? And then, yeah, so you say for permanent, only for permanent bans, apparently. Now, I haven't read that anywhere, but I would believe it. I would totally believe it because he's not coming back. Now, a couple people claim that they know. And some people have made tweets, which I'm not going to post because they were deleted. And also don't have a screenshot of them. Some people have made tweets saying that they know it's really bad and it's worse, that he's never going to work in the industry. And then those tweets are deleted. So I don't know what the fuck that means. Slasher claims to know what it is, says that it's severe. And he actually went on Trainwreck's podcast, Scuff podcast, and he talks about this. And this is important. This is important to listen to here. I have to assume that what Slasher is saying is true because Slasher has been right about things in the past. I know he's a fucking clout chaser. I know he's going to milk this shit. I know he's going to say that he's not a clout chaser or whatever, but it's bullshit. But I know that the stuff that he said in the past has been accurate, so I have to, at the very least, give some kind of credibility to this. He's a dick, but he's a right dick. He's a right dick. So take a listen.
This was handled outside of trust and safety.
I don't even know what that means.
Saying legal dealt with it.
Trust and safety is the one that, deals with the ban system within Twitch. And this was not a decision that this was given to them. This was made outside of trust and safety, and it is not DMCA. It is not DMCA.
Mm-hmm. Just to
so. Trust and safety. If you ever worked for a tech company or an app company that has users that they manage in some capacity, you almost always have a risk management or a trust and safety or some kind of policy enforcement group. And typically what the jobs of those individuals is to enforce the rules of the site. And so for him to say that trust and safety, Declan, you have to go. You're not right now. We can't talk right now. Give me a kiss. Mwah. I love you. Go, 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 go. Tell mom I'm doing news. Tell mom I'm doing what? News. All right, go tell her. Thank you. She'll get the hint. And so I can't close the door because it's so fucking hot in here. So for this to come down from outside of that group means that it came from an entity somewhere else. So either this is, a conflict elsewhere in the company with Dr. Disrespect and somebody else in the company, whether it be some kind of conflict between another employee that's not related to trust and safety, so it's not really covered underneath the terms of use of the site itself because it happened outside of that, or it was something that happened external to the company, period. And so we don't know what that means. We are all trying to guess what it could mean. There's rumors flying all over the place, and let me talk about that for a second. We know that fact subs got refunded. Fact Doc is banned. We know that people are saying that and even I thought this for a second. It took me a minute to figure it out. But it says he's not just getting banned on Twitch, but Discord removed him, and Lamo removed his figure. Not fucking good. So in terms of Discord removing him, if you're not familiar with the admin side of Discord, we have a connection between our account. Like, for example, my account is linked to Discord. If my account disappears or is banned, then everybody that's in Discord underneath the Twitch sub, role would be gone. And so I could see when it says Discord removed him as a partner, I could see that actually meaning that his account was unlinked, and therefore a bunch of people ended up getting kicked. So they thought that meant he was banned by Discord, because all of this seemed to happen like super fast, and it seems weird. It's like this coordinated event where everybody's like blocking him or doing whatever, or removing him from banners and all that stuff. But not all of it seems like it's legit. One of them is. Let me see. One example of a sponsor dropping, but it seemed like it was just shopped, was this image. First off, this one comes up and it says that he was put back on the Mountain Dew Game Fuel header. Now, the other image that I found where he says that he was removed from the header, there was only one of those screenshots that I found. I didn't see, like, this is, first off, it's not dark mode, so I figure the easiest way to figure out if something is at least somewhat legit is to find another screenshot taken from somebody else, and not at 1031, not at light mode, that kind of thing. Look for other things, and all I found was the same image being shared everywhere. It was exactly like this, but had a different picture. So I feel like it was because it happened overnight. It was like he was removed from the Mountain Dew Game Fuel thing, and then it was because that screenshot was circulating. And then the next day, oh, they put him back on. It's like, okay, was he actually removed, or did somebody just Photoshop that, spread the rumor? Everyone ran with it, and there's, oh no, they put him back on. It's crazy. Seems a bit strange. I will say, though, that the vinyl figurine that they're talking about, the Lamo one, that's real. I actually went and looked that up myself. I went to Lamo's website, and it says, here's all the different characters they have. And I went to their actual website, and here's all the characters, right? Timthetatman, Dr. Lupo, Shroud. And then if I go to GameStop, we could see that there is a figurine there. Because I was like, what if he never had a figurine? No, he does have a figurine. It's just not on the main site anymore. And so it's like, okay, is that a sign that the company knows, or is it a sign that the company panicked and was like, whoa, whatever this guy is into, we don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to be part of it at all. So just in case, we're going to panic and remove everything. Maybe that's the case. What I will say is that Doc doesn't handle his own deals, right? He is part of the Creative Artists Agency, which represents a lot of people, a lot of artists, a lot of actors, a lot of creative artists, talents, brands, etc. These guys have a lot of money, and they have a lot of clout and a lot of power. They negotiate a lot of shit for a lot of people. So what I would think is, if this was something that was handled through his agency, which is basically every deal he has, he is part of this agency. Yes. Oh, hi. Can you keep that one out? Thank you. I told him to go tell you I was doing news. Thank you, babe. News. Oh, sorry, news. Beer. Thank you, babe. I love you. If they're the ones negotiating all of his deals, then it stands to reason that they're the ones that went through and dropped those deals and canceled them. This is all speculative, of course, right? Because they're trying to figure out, like, how's everybody finding out about this, but nobody's talking about it? And if the CAA is involved, then that makes sense as to why nobody's talking about it. These are the guys that represent big folks. These guys have big money. They handle the deals. They're the ones that probably reached out and had those things canceled, removed, or whatever, for whatever reason that we don't know of. There's tons of rumors that he's going to Trovo. This thing popped up. Trovo is a beta site, Trovo streaming platform. Dr. Disrespect Live, probably fake. Probably. Probably. Also that he was going to a site called Brime. And there's a lot of people looking up what Brime is, which is another streaming platform. People are assuming that he's going to go and he start his own streaming platform. Here's this is from we'll call him a field correspondent, Butt Juice Soup. And he says, he's basically quoting anonymous person on /B or something. Now listen, I always take these things with a huge grain of salt because anybody could say anything here. But just to point out that, yes, everybody's got crazy theories. So this might be anonymous, but it's the theory that makes the most sense. Doc's getting nervous on stream because someone tipped him off that Twitch knew he was leaving. Mixer closing down because they were about to lose Ninja/Shroud and can't handle losing the market share. Twitch lawyering up fast. So it says here, Doc, Shroud, and Ninja were in talks to launch a new streaming platform. Were approached by Spotify under Google in order to sign contracts to launch in the coming weeks on Spotify's soon-to-be-announced streaming service. So... do we really? There's so many crazy tinfoil hat theories. Crazy. Do we really think about it? Do we really think that Spotify is going to somehow wrestle Dr. Disrespect, Shroud, and Ninja, the three of the biggest names in video game streaming, away from Amazon and Microsoft's? Yes, they have Joe Rogan. Sure. Yeah, they have money. I'm not saying that Spotify is broke. Okay. I'm not saying Spotify is broke. What I'm saying is I can't see, especially after Dr. Disrespect just recently got a multi-million-dollar deal, multi-year deal with Twitch, exclusive stream for Twitch, that they're going to wrestle that away from them. I can't see that. So I don't know what's going on. Shroud hasn't said anything as far as I know about where he's going or what he's going to do. The only thing we've gotten, and in closing, the only thing we've gotten was Dr. Disrespect says on his own Twitter, he said, Twitch has not notified me on the specific reason behind their decision. Firm handshakes to all the support during this difficult time. His wife also posted an Instagram update where she said, "Thank you for supporting me during these times." And people overanalyze the shit out of that too. So at this point, this is us. This lyric is all of us right now. What does it mean? What does it mean? I have no idea. I don't know if this is some kind of crazy ploy to promote something new, which I highly doubt, or if Doc did something that jeopardized his contract with Twitch and that brought out the lawyers, and now the lawyers are talking about it, which that makes more sense. This is not a DMCA. This is not, I honestly don't think this is ill-timed, of course, because even I thought it was okay, wow, this could be something really bad related to the Me Too thing. But I don't think it is, honestly. I think at the time I thought that because that's all that's happening. It's all that's happening is we're getting just tons of people coming out and saying that this person did this and this person did that. And and then this happened. It's kind of oh, we just assume that it's related to that. But I don't think that's the case either. We need a tinfoil hat emote. I know. I wish I had my old tinfoil hat. Period. Jesus. The most rational explanation I have is CAA dropped Doc. That's the text. Asked Twitch to terminate his account, etc. Still a question around why they drop him. Exactly. That's the why. What did he do? But it's whatever it is absolutely a legal thing because nobody is saying shit. I will say that Lamo is the only one that I've seen that it's dropped, and still has dropped, not reinstated his figurine or anything, where I have proof that it was gone and now back. But in terms of all the sponsors are dropping them, which even I tweeted, is everybody's dropping them today. This is crazy because I thought it was the same thing, and then I looked into it, and the more I read into it, the more I felt like maybe some of these things are just people photoshopping random shit and then hoping that it flies, and then you're getting over on people like me. Sure, the heat of the moment. But I do feel like whatever this is a legal issue, and it's entirely possible that we're not going to hear anything for at least another couple weeks. for at least another couple weeks while they work out whatever this is. Could an agency like CAA close someone else's account? I don't know what power they would have. Let me just pull up who they represent, so you get an idea of some of the people that they represent. Let me see if there's a good list here. Here we go. So some of these guys you may be more familiar with, but if I could find Hugh Grant, there we go. Ryan Gosling. Okay, Tom Hanks. I mean, do we need to go any further? Do we need to go any further than Tom Hanks? Could we just be done there? Just call it that. Yeah, these guys are big. How about Jeff Bridges or Sandra Bullock or Gerard Butler or James Cameron or Nick Cannon? Okay, we'll skip that one. Or like, yeah, I feel like we could just stop at Tom Hanks and just say, yeah, these guys probably have some money. They probably represent a lot of people. They probably have some kind of influence. All right, who's Tom Hanks? So yeah, I do feel like because CAA represents Dr. Disrespect, that this is something related to them and what they're doing. So, list is breathtaking. T. Hanks, that's right. Tom Hanks, that one guy who got lost on an island with that volleyball. Yes, Wilson. So whatever it is, I'm sure we will find out in due time, because it's totally our business to know. And it's not, but we really do want to know. We really, really want to know. So moving on. Speaking of Me Too, which not really, but we thought it was for a minute, but now it feels like it's a legal thing. We do have some developments that happen. Now, first off, I want to go and address some of the comments I got on YouTube last week. Last week, and you know, I'll shoulder the blame for this. Last week, when I was going through the list of people that were accused, I mentioned Angry Joe, and I said, and I pulled up his response, and I said, of course he's going to dispute it, right? Some people took that as me saying, of course, yeah, like he's gonna, like, it's almost like, yeah, he's going to deny these totally true allegations. That's not what I was saying. What I'm saying is I don't expect that kind of behavior from somebody like Angry Joe. I don't know him personally. I only know him through industry. I can't speak to his personal character, but I personally don't feel like he's someone that would do that. And so, of course, I expect to see him say that it didn't happen. So, just to address that last week, I know some of you folks are big Angry Joe fans. I myself was at some time, but I don't have time to watch videos like that. And yes, I'm not saying that he is guilty and is going to try to deny it. I'm saying that I don't feel he's guilty, but I don't know any better, but I would expect him to say that he didn't do it. Got it? Are we good? All right, cool. You mean give the person the benefit of the doubt? Yes, absolutely. 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 With that being said, some allegations that have come out have been corroborated by the people who are being accused, saying, "Yeah, I did shitty things in the past." We're moving on for Angry Joe, by the way, but this is still happening. This is still very much happening. So Method, the biggest North American guild, had their own issues and pretty much rocked the entire organization. To the point to where their co-founder is done. Some of their players are done, whether they want to distance themselves from the organization or whatever. What did I say? What did I say? Whatever. So Rip Method. Yeah. That's what I should have said. Rip Method, because it seems like everybody is dropping them. They're actually done. And the statements that came out against Method Josh were from I think it was two or three women who said that they were under the age of 18 at the time. Okay, so this is like this is bad, of course. Now, in Method's statement on Twitter, God, I'm sure you guys, how often have you seen this page? How often have you seen Twit Longer? Jesus. And he says, "We are sorry. Josh was released earlier today from Method because of his gross misconduct. At the time of Kotaku article last year, we had received an email from an unknown third party, Jane Doe, which led to management collectively preparing a statement as follows." And then they go on and they say, did they actually, wait, hold on, did they edit this? You can edit these things, right? It says, a recently substantial accusation on social media casts a light on Josh's behavior that was disturbed us all, resulting in our immediate action to remove him from the organization. In retrospect, we deeply regret we did not act sooner. And then it says, it has been circulating on social media that Method, and specifically the guild, were internally aware of the extent of Josh's behavior. This is categorically untrue and sickening to read. And then somebody in the comments posts this video.
Oh, it's at the start, aren't you?
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll ever go that.
Let me turn it up a little bit. Oh, why these things are all so quiet today?
Far, but
am I the loudest person on Twitch?
Oh, it's at the start, aren't you?
Oh yeah, like I said, I don't think it'll ever go that far, but it's more just what he was saying was in terms of the police investigation. He said
Josh, mute him.
Fuck me, dude.
What give me this for fucking?
So this video is from 12 months ago. It's a year old, and they were wait, what? Yeah, when I saw this clip, and this is after them saying they had no idea if it was happening before, I was just like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. Like this reflects poorly, and that's like I can't. That's the nicest I could put it. This definitely feels like they've been caught. People have speculated that, you know what, maybe they knew that there was an investigation, and maybe they wanted to stop him from saying something out loud. I've actually read that somebody said that sometimes Method Josh just says random shit sometimes, and the guild was just trying to get him to shut up because he was banned. And it's true, he was banned. He was banned some time ago, a couple years ago, I believe. I don't remember for what exactly. Oh yeah, for brandishing a knife, brandishing a knife with his girlfriend or with his friend, not a girlfriend, with his friend sitting next to him in such a way that could be deemed as threatening. That's right. They never said, you're right, they never said, but it just happened to line up. And so, what the hell? But if that was the case and they didn't want him to say anything on stream, I feel like they would not have even had him in voice to begin with. So this is very damning in terms of, here's a link for the hard of hearing people. Damn, I didn't have it loud enough. Anyways, Method Josh has definitely had a history of a perception of being mentally unstable, given some of the actions and stuff that he's taken in the past. And then these allegations come out that he's done things with women who were under the age of 18. And that's, and that becomes a severe issue. Now, this is not just Method Josh that was getting allegations against him. It was also the CEO, the co-CEO. And I don't have those allegations here, but what I will show is the reaction here by Method. Method says, following allegations of misconduct, co-CEO Sasha Steffens has been placed on unpaid administrative leave pending the results of a third-party investigation. So Method Method just this past week is just pretty much lost every kind of deal they've had. Fanbyte, previously Zam, Fanbyte, I pushed that button along, get over there we go. Fanbyte, which is previously Zam, my old company, they said, brief statement regarding Fanbyte Media and Wowhead's partnership with Method. We've technically been out of contract with them for a while, but have been negotiating a new deal until today, and it's very clear they're not the partnership we need to renew. So yeah, it's for the most part, I think that they're on probably a relatively permanent hiatus. Corsair dropped them as well. They actually made a public statement saying that they are also dropping. We have ended our sponsorship with Method at this time. So yeah, everybody seems to be dropping. Gianna, thank you so much. MSI dropped them as well. I didn't grab that tweet, but yeah, I'm not surprised. I think we'll see Elgato, Scuff, Origin also on that. Probably. But yeah, I would say that Method is gonna go through some kind of significant overhaul of their leadership, of their everything, and they may not survive this. Honestly, they may not actually end up surviving this because this is these allegations are pretty long lasting and damning, especially when there's not proof, but there's evidence to show that they may have known about this sooner than they have let on. So it's like. Their general manager resigned as well. Yeah, and I guess a lot of people are distancing themselves in some way. And I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, if I was part of the Method organization, first off, if I was still working at Zam, that would have been me. That would have actually been me saying, "Hey, we're gonna have to distance ourselves from Method, from here on out. That's my job. So yeah, that's just what happens when allegations from people who are under the age of 18 come out and say that you did blank. Now, I take Sko's statement confirms they knew. Yeah, there you go. Did I see Sko's response? I think so. Let's see. Let me pull it up if I can. Oh God, you want to link it? The world's first ammo prison. If you could link it real quick, we will. Thank you. Twit longer. I'll grab that. Let me see. Oh yes, I did see this. Yeah, I did see this from Sko. So Sko basically lays out. He says, "Sorry, it took so long for you to see this. I can only express from the bottom of my heart that Method and I have failed you. Well, I will live with this for the rest of my life. I will endeavor now to be as transparent as possible with everyone who has supported Method over the years and give you the full breakdown of events. Nothing below justifies mine or Method's inactions, but I hope it gives some clarity to the community going forward." And so this is where he goes through. He talks about the Jane Doe Twitch clips and screenshots. I mean, this is where the investigation is where he discusses it. And he says, "Personally, I'll be taking some time away to contemplate my future as well as Methods. For 15 years, I've worked with Methods guild staff, talent, and World of Warcraft community. It has been the most meaningful experience of my life. You trusted me, I let you down. I'll never forgive myself." So, Sko knew, lie confirmed. Yeah, pretty much. So it's. I would say for the most part that's the end of Method. Yeah. The players, of course, they'll probably find another home somewhere else, especially the ones that maybe were not privy to that information. And I don't know who that is or who it isn't, but yeah, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? I feel like for the most part, that's the end of Method as we know it. Now, Method and the World of Warcraft community aren't the only ones dealing with the with backlash from the Me Too movement, this new wave of the Me Too movement. We also have the Smash community. The Smash community, I know a lot of you guys probably don't follow that because you followed me, and the Venn diagram, those two circles don't really overlap very well. But Vaymar was keeping me up to date. He's going to be my correspondent on the ground, and Vaymar says, yeah, a lot of the various. First off, let me talk about the allegations here. So Smash. So the Smash community and just the FGC fighting game community, Evo, okay, is going through some change. Is going to be going through some changes. Puppeh was the one mentioned earlier where he put out some allegations saying that Cinepai back when he was 14 years old had done some things that normally would land a man in jail. but he's put, just like everybody else, he's adding his allegations to the discussion, and that has blown up, and not only has it shined a light on just that one instance with Cinepai, but also there were allegations against the Evo CEO, Mr. Wizard, that came out. And so the response from Evo throughout this is they said, over the past 24 hours, in response to serious allegations recently made public on Twitter, we have made the first series of important decisions regarding the future of our company. Effective immediately, Joey Sular, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, this is Mr. Wizard, will no longer be involved with Evo in any capacity. So this is specific to that. I don't know what's going on with Senpai or anything like that. I have no idea if there's going to be any follow-up to that. She mostly just retweets stuff. But still, like, this is the continuing, I guess the fire that's just tearing through all this dry grass here that is the fighting game community. And Mr. Wizard has his own statement basically saying that, "I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone. I was young and reckless and did things I'm not proud of. I've been growing and maturing over the past 20 years, but that doesn't excuse anything. All I have been trying to do is become a better person. Once again, I'm truly sorry." And then Vaymar says, yeah, a lot of the various casters were saying as long as Wiz was involved, they were not going to be involved. Some of the games were announcing pulling out, and then the cancellation announcement came out. So the announcement that he's talking about of people that were pulling out is let me see, I should find a list here. So see, Bandai Namco was going to remove their games from the lineup, but more importantly was Mortal Kombat. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. It was Mortal Kombat's Injustice and Street Fighter were not going to be part of the event. And that's like, as it describes, these are like pillar, like games that are the pillar of these events. And so if those guys are out, then you're not really going to have an event. And so Evo decides they're going to go ahead and cancel and you know, change leadership and all that stuff, and they're going to undergo their own changes internally. Yeah, there's no Evo without them. I did find this tweet chain thread that was very informative on what the and also not surprising of what the culture is like within just the Smash community. And he says, reflecting on Smash community, there are so many normalized behaviors done by adults with minors that we need to reconsider. Allowing/promoting drug/alcohol use with minors near them, sharing a bed at national without parent consent, allowing minors in adult cars without parent consent, having sexual conversations with minors in a way that's too explicit/coming from a personal place of the adult, inviting over minors to your house without parent consent. He says this stuff is normal in the Smash community, and it is the exact thing that we need to reevaluate given these stories. And you know it's true. You know it's true because gaming in general has such a huge age range. You know, we have, you know, like Declan. We have Declan, 7 years old. Now, he's not a professional gamer or anything yet, but, you know, I could see in like 7 years if he's like, Dad, I want to go to a friend's house because I want to compete or want to play this game or whatever. That friend can very easily be somebody over the age of 18. Right? Very easily because of how old all of us are. I'm sorry, how old all of us, not just us, but I mean like just in the industry. Like we're gamers all the way up until fucking 84. Shirley Curry, man. I should know how old Shirley Curry is. I hope I'm not misjudging that age. 39. But yeah, it's a thing. Like this is, I mean, he says, I get it, y'all. When I started this game when I was 14 years old, I said the Smash community is so beautiful. 13-year-olds and 28-year-olds can be friends because of their game. It's great. How wrong I was and how ignorant I was to see I was a child. Your parents are right. So I am now a 22-year-old adult working to be a high school teacher, and reflecting on the narratives told in the Smash community makes me sick that I promoted it. Why haven't we also been talking to parents? Why do us adults let minors drink/do drugs in our presence? And it makes sense that all this stuff is happening because you start off with just, you know, the fighting game community period, like, you know, just starts off with just people going over, bringing their controllers over to the other house and competing. Maybe they start off with just in the garage or whatever, and then it turns out, oh, there's a competition. Let's go to the competition. You end up rooming up with somebody. You know, I could see myself at the age of, you know, 15 years old, 16 years old, trying to go and travel with somebody who was over the age of 18 because I felt like it was safe because we had shared interests. It's just, it was a thing that I could see myself having participated in and later been like, whoa, I would never let Declan do that. Like, and I'm sure my mom's watching this right now. It's probably like, I would never let you do that. And she'll text me later, let me know. But yeah, this stuff happens, and it happens enough. It happens just enough where it becomes normal and we don't even look at it like it's a problem. And this exists everywhere. Things that we're doing right now we've normalized behaviors right now that later on we're going to look at and say, whoa, we should not have been doing that. Yeah, and this is happening all over the place. Look at all of these twit longers that are being brought up from like 2010 to 2014. Like, these are all instances of stories that happened when you read it, and it's like, oh yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff happen, and I didn't even think twice about it because it was a normalized behavior. And some of the stuff we're doing right now that we feel like is fine, later on is going to be like, whoa, you can't do that. You can't do that. I can't believe you did that. I'm not trying to excuse all the behavior for some of these folks, by the way. Obviously, when you have a 20-something-year-old bunking up with, or sharing a bed, in this case, with somebody under the age. Oh my God, my mom just texted me. What did she say? Hold on, let me see. Yeah, huh? She gave me the, she's like, yeah, huh? Hi, Mom. Yeah, he said, I grew up with ashtrays and airliners. Yeah, I was giving beers when I was underage at LAN parties. Everyone says, hi, Mom. But yeah, these types of behaviors end up getting normalized, and they just become a thing. And then later on, you look back and you're like, holy shit, I can't believe we did that. And usually, I guess it takes a generation to go through it once to look back and say, hey, well, let's show this next generation that you can't do that. Whether they get old enough to start having their own kids and they realize like, whoa, hold on, so I have to actually protect this thing. I have to like protect this thing from other adults. Meanwhile, when I was a kid, I was hanging out with adults all the time. So yeah, it is definitely a culture that needs change. And so the fighting game community is definitely working through their own demons and trying to figure out how they're going to make changes internally. I don't know if this is a common problem with other teams or other esports industries. Like when I think it's like, I think like, okay, StarCraft, or I think, League of Legends. And in those cases, mostly you're dealing with sponsored teams, right? There's not a lot of entry level, like, here's an arcade and people gather around an arcade, booth to compete. That doesn't happen that often with StarCraft. That doesn't happen that often at all with League of Legends. Most of them have online tournaments to determine placing, and then if they place well enough, then they get to go to the actual competition, or they get placed on a team, or they get recruited by a team or whatever. But when you're talking about the fighting game community, these are all solos. Like, these are all people that console problems. Yes, this is all the consolers doing it wrong. But they're the ones that grew up going to arcades and doing weird shit for quarters. There's lots of stories out there that cover that kind of really not particularly good behavior from adults with minors, making them do weird shit for quarters. And so basically, yeah, it's the fighting game community's definitely got their own stuff that they need to work through. And so it's a free candy, Jesus. So the Me Too thing it's still going on, right? And when I say it's still going on, I mean like it goes in waves. We had a pretty significant wave, like a couple years ago, I think last year, whatever it was, and then this time it's happening again. But it's tearing through the games industry, and it's getting so ridiculous. Remember, I showed you guys that chart, that list of accusations and all that stuff that happened last week. Last week I showed you guys this list. The person there are so many allegations coming out that even the person who made this list had to add themselves to the list because of allegations that came out against them. That's how big it's gotten. There are 422 lines in this thing. Listen. When I read, this person has consistently told companies not to hire women who have turned down his advances, and there's no link to anybody saying it's an anonymous contribution to somebody that I know personally. I have to think, maybe this is going a little too far. Maybe if we're including somebody, an anonymous account with no evidence to back it up, saying has consistently told companies not to hire women who have turned down his advances, and there's nothing else, and that's sitting next to actual fucking rape, I have a feeling that this list needs some kind of actual moderation, because now that person's name is right next to actual rapists, people who actually probably belong in jail. It's a little bit too, it's gone a little bit too far. And what makes me even more upset is that Lindsay's story, who I 100% believe, which is actual rape by somebody who is still known and very popular in the industry, is not even on here. And maybe it's because she didn't name the person she was accusing, so maybe there was no reason to put her on here, but she did at the person who was organizing this, and apparently it was left out. And so it's like, maybe this list is not, I understand getting your stories heard, right? Survivor stories, but maybe it's not even about the stories anymore. Maybe it went from being about the stories and getting people's stories heard to being about how many people can we tear down with this. That's what it feels like when I see has consistently told companies not to hire women who have turned down his advances from an anonymous person. That's what I feel like when I see this. Maybe it needs to be capped. Maybe there's another way to do it. I don't know what that is. I feel like people need to still get those stories out for sure. But if actual real stories like Lindsay's are not included on this list, and there's no person, she didn't name the person she was accusing, maybe it's because it's not about that anymore. Maybe it went from being about stories being told to just about, who we can target with it. So, and I feel like this happened last time. It happens with everything, where when the dog pile starts to happen and you get accounts from everybody about everybody else, you start to get outrage. Oh my God, outrage fatigue from it. And you start to look at it, it's like, well, hold on a second. Like, what are we doing here? Like, some of these allegations read like, oh, somebody at a party was like, hey girl, what's up? You want to hang out? You want to whatever? And they're like, and it was like, oh, this person said this 10 years ago at a party. And it's just like, okay, maybe that shouldn't be included with actual fucking rapists. Maybe we should separate those. Maybe that the people who actually physically force themselves on folks, I feel like that deserves its own category. Maybe. And we could separate the people who maybe were drunk and came up to somebody and was kind of like, hey girl, want a party? And they were like, no, like, oh, okay, and walked away. Oh my God, 10 years later, it's fucking a bit longer now. And I'm not saying that every case is not worth at least looking at, right? I'm not saying you should at least look at it. If you know the person, of course. But we shouldn't compile all of these together. We should not compile all these because they don't belong together. They don't. Let me see. So, see, I miss a lot of chat. Sorry. I read through a lot of lists, and a large part of it is either BS or just airing a bad relationship and taking away from actual egregious accounts. That's right. Thank you, Top. Someone who's a major player in the FGC got canceled over just some tweets. He goes by, I can't read that, and New York Chris G, NY Chris G. He lost all sponsorships and is doing a huge stream to get donations so he can pay bills. Too many clout chases in this shit. Yeah, it does feel like we're getting too we're just getting too far into how many people can we tear down with this. And again, like this, I'm basing this off of the fact that, here's an actual story from Lindsay that I firmly believe. And also know it's true now. Sadly, that doesn't even make the list because maybe she didn't name the person. Maybe. Anyways, so obviously we'll check on this throughout the week and see what happens. But I have a feeling that this is. We're at 422. It was 300 something yesterday, 356 or something yesterday when I looked. So the list is growing still by a lot. But the more that gets added to the list, the more it kind of waters down the true message. From those who really, really need to get those stories heard and get those and get those things out there. You'd love to know if NY Chris G is on that list. Oh yeah, let me see. Let me pull it up. Let me see. Oh, I can't. Can I not start doing Chris? Nope. Nope. Just going through all of it. Nope. So no. So maybe it's just not a good list, which means the list is actually longer. He was sponsored by evil geniuses and they threw him under the bus even though they knew the tweets existed. Of course they did. Yeah, of course. I mean, there's probably a lot of shit that people have done that companies know about, but because of their affiliation or because of their business deals, they're not going to drop them because of the money. But once it comes to light that these things happen, then yeah, they're gonna probably take a step back and try to be the good guy here and be like, oh no, we want nothing to do with that person now. It's like, okay guys, okay. People who regret cheating then accuse their co-conspirator of rape, like that mod streamer scenario. Oh man, I missed that one, Rock Force, or maybe I didn't. I don't know, guys. It's starting to blur together. As long as companies can deny knowing about things, they will keep making the money. Exactly. What happened to innocent until proven guilty? Where the hell is due process in ruining someone's life? Fucking hell. You know what, Cashier? I understand that. And I feel like there does need to be a platform for people who were abused in some way by other people in the industry. Yes, it needs to be said. Like Puppeh, he was 14 years old. Like the girls who were like 14 and 16 that Method Josh was interacting with inappropriately. These are real concerns that need to be addressed. And I mean, Going forward, sure, go to the police, but is that going to lead to anything when a lot of times they go to the police and the police don't do shit about it? I'm sure there's probably somebody watching this right now who knows somebody or is someone who went to the police to report something related to sexual harassment, rape, or something, and the police said, sorry, we don't have enough evidence, we can't do anything for you. So now that person's basically asked out because they didn't have a video camera secretly recording every single moment of their life or something. And that stuff does happen. So their only platform left is to use social media, and it sucks because there is no due process with social media. Somebody could come out and say some random shit about me if they wanted to, and half of you guys would be like, whoa, I didn't know Mike was like that. And that would be the end. That would be the end for a lot of you guys, because that's all it takes. Because that's the way we've been bred. Social media has curated this type of mentality where that's all we think. Is if somebody says this, it's probably true, or there might be some truth to it. Mike paid for my dinner once. Cancel him. I did pay for his dinner once, and he didn't put out. We stayed up all night and played video games. We did. Oh man, still working on it. It's almost a year. They did say they will arrest him this month. That's my story. Oh, Gian, I missed the first part of that, but that might actually be it. So still working on almost a year. They did say, yeah. So I mean, so in Gianna's case, I mean, yeah, that's a year that's going by where this person's basically able to live their life and do whatever, and it's probably because of lack of evidence or whatever the case may be. And it's just, I mean, it's just the system is not designed in a way to help women and men when they need that kind of help. It's shrugged off. If a man tries to do it, they're probably going to get laughed out the door. It's kind of like, really, dude? but it's like, that's the way this is. That's the way it is. The police are not equipped to help us. The social media is not equipped to help us. So where do they go? What can they do? Like, the only outlet they have is social media. What about innocent that we'll have life ruined by someone who just doesn't like him or make false accusations? Exactly. Yeah, and it's happened. It's definitely happened. I mean, the Johnny Depp scenario. Oh my God, the Johnny Depp scenario. Not until that the audio was leaked showing that Johnny Depp was definitely not the abusive one in the relationship did people start to come around, like by en masse start to come around and be like, whoa, hold on a second. I want to say even the Chris Hardwick thing. That one also, I don't know what Chris Hardwick's doing now, but I don't feel like he has the presence he did prior to the allegations coming out. But even that one felt like that was I don't remember exactly how it ended, but I know that I don't see Chris Hardwick anymore. It's amazing all these people got canceled and DSP is still fine after jacking off while streaming. He didn't show any nudity, but I may have missed this one. Habit of Anger Joe too. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I think it would help if the consequences for filing false claims were more severe. Dude, could you imagine filing a false sexual harassment claim and like the person who makes a false claim and it's proven that it's false gets charged for something? Man. I don't remember Terry's story specifically, but this is the culture that social media has created. We are all, and myself included, like I'll see a claim and I'll be like, oh my God, did this person do that? There were allegations against JP that came out, and I was just like, I can't believe this is true. I read it, and there was a part of me that was like, maybe there's a part of JP I don't know, but I read his response and I felt better about the situation. But what I'll say is that, it sucks that even if you don't believe what the accusations are, a lot of times there's still an inkling. There's still something that's like if somebody else said something, it's like, well, maybe this person is like that. And it just kind of tarnishes the image you have of that person. And yeah, it sucks. It's like, yeah, the JP one was upsetting for me too. And I mean, yeah, it's not, I mean, reading his response, and I feel better about the situation, but still it just makes you realize it's like, wow, anybody can say anything about anyone. So yeah, I'll include, if you guys want to go through that list, I'll include it in the notes. You can, but again, like I said last week, take everything with a grain of salt, okay? Or like a spoonful of salt or whatever. You don't know who these people are. You don't know if their stories are credible. You don't know if they're, and I'm talking about both sides, the accuser and the accused. You don't know. So what I would say is, unless you absolutely want to go through and maybe filter out some people on your YouTube subscribe list or whatever, I would say just don't look at the list. Just don't look at the list. You'll know if the allegations are true or not. They'll like, well, you'll know if there's anything that develops from it. They'll disappear from the net. They'll disappear from some, from your communities. And not necessarily because it's true, but because they were impacted by it. But yeah, so let's move forward. Where are we at right now? It's like 2 hours. This is the longest episode ever. So moving on. So there was a ban wave that happened with Twitch. Twitch went through and started banning a bunch of sites, a bunch of streamers, and the update to the community came out saying, we want to provide an update on our investigations of the recent allegations of sexual abuse and harassment involving Twitch streamers and actions we're taking. Now, some of these, they're reviewing each case by case, and just yesterday, I think Say No to Rage, who was the first one who sparked this latest wave of accusations, he was actually just banned yesterday. But Twitch is not just they're not just banning people related to the Me Too thing. They're banning a lot of people for just toss stuff. I feel like they're going to do a little house cleaning after being called out by a number of people. Excuse me. So yeah, I think they're doing some house cleaning, and they even, this is kind of funny actually, they even banned Donald Trump's Twitter. Or not Twitter. Some of you guys really like that. Their Twitch channel. And I think the reason why was because of this happened shortly after the Kung Flu thing that he said at I want to say it was the Tulsa, Oklahoma, or was it the Arizona one. He said he used the same joke twice. But yeah, he got banned probably for that, which makes sense, honestly. Honestly, like if you're gonna say shit like that, like probably no place in on Twitch. There really is no place on Twitch for any of these politicians, personally, regardless of their affiliation. But they're going to do what it takes to reach out to the younger demographic, and that's the route that they're going to take. But if you break the rules, you going to get banned. You going to lose your job. So, yeah, it's... Twitch is starting to do something. And that's what people were asking for. They were saying, please, Twitch, do something. So they started doing bans. It's slow. It's a slow process. A lot of the bans are people that I don't know. They're bans that are, I want to say a lot of them are from, I saw like Russia. I saw Brazil. I saw, I think, Singapore. Like these are not necessarily streamers that you would see on a regular basis if you're an English speaking viewer, if that makes sense. So Twitch is going through and doing some house cleaning for various things related to Me Too stuff, related to policy or terms of use violations and all that stuff. Like, for example, Trump. And yeah, see, politicians should only be allowed on Twitch if they show us their Animal Crossing island. I know, huh? So yeah, that is that. God, is that the end? No, we still have other stuff to talk about. But from here on out, it's not related to any of this. We're done with this part. This is the in closing. Hold on a sec. What is this? Pinging for more beer when ready. Pizza will be here at 5:45. Okay, cool. I didn't even take a sip out of this beer. Hold on. Let me see. It said, let him sprout. Bad ideas, I say, lets people see who he is, how he is, rather than not knowing. No, it's true. I mean, the more, I check. I mean, yeah, obviously I don't support Donald Trump, and that's my prerogative. But I do check his Twitter every once in a while to see what it is he's saying. And I'll tell you, every time I check, it just reaffirms my position on what I feel about him. And so, yeah, give them a platform. The more people they reach, the better / worse. It sucks having politicians it sucks having politicians in sports and all that stuff on Twitch, but Twitch is very quickly turning into a TV network. if it's not already. For some folks, they only watch Twitch. And it's becoming a thing where you know, it started with what, Bob Ross reruns, and now we have MXC 24/7. We have politicians with their shows. I think we have Monday Night Football when we had football. We have a bunch of just completely non-gaming related stuff all over the place now. And it's because of Amazon, of course. Yeah, MXC. Jen is the one that told me, actually. She said that MXC, we were watching it downstairs. It's funny. She was like, oh my God, MXC has a 24-hour station on Twitch. And I was like, really? I had no idea. There's a 24/7 weather channel weekly, or your local forecast channel that plays vaporwave music 24/7. It's fucking great. But yeah, it's there. She was like, we should watch it with Declan, and we watched it, and I guess she forgot how and you know, I didn't watch a lot of it myself because I wasn't watching TV when that show was popular. I still don't watch TV. But yeah, we were watching it with Declan, and some of the jokes were definitely not skid friendly, and so Declan got to watch it once. What is the Twitch username for? Oh God, I don't know. See, MXC Twitch. Let me see. Only MXC. Boy, I gotta Google that for you. Come on. Only MXC. Only ONLY MXC. Speaking of TV, we still got more. Speaking of TV, Amazon Studios is developing a new Fallout TV series with the creators of Westworld, which could be very interesting because I feel like Westworld is a pretty good show overall. I have not finished the 3rd season, and I need to, but I could definitely see this being particularly awesome. Or bad. You know, it'll launch, the first couple episodes will be really bad, but you know, after some time, eventually it'll get better, kind of like all their games, you know. After some user feedback, you know, maybe. Press X to skip that. Yeah, I mean, Todd Howard is involved, so that was a bit of a turnoff. I was like, maybe just give the idea to someone else, and then we'll let somebody else run with it. I don't mind if somebody spends money to make a show. I'll watch it. I'll watch it to see if it's any good. But if it's trash, then yeah, that's it. More to talk about, I guess. Does pay to win come into play? Yeah, when are they gonna find loot boxes and all that shit just lying around or whatever? Something like that. Also, speaking of TV and getting us out of the game space, getting us out of the damn game space for a minute, and I'm bringing this up today on this show because I know a lot of you guys use YouTube TV. Maybe not a lot, but at least a chunk of you guys use YouTube TV because you've cut the cord and you want to use, you know, whatever. Netflix, YouTube TV pretty much gets you covered everywhere. And you already have Amazon Prime, so you didn't have Prime Video on top of it. So yeah, they raised it from, I think, $39.99 to $64.99. So that's we're getting into Xfinity cable package prices. Yeah, it's a lot. They did add Viacom CBS channels, which includes Comedy Central, MTV, VH1. I have to laugh because it's like, really, MTV? Like, does anybody care about MTV anymore? I don't think so. They added a number of channels to the listing to try to make it worth more, but there's no sports, you know, like no sports are playing right now. So this is a bit of a daring move for them to go and try to raise the price when we're not really getting a lot of extra value out of it. You know, especially when people are so ready to just jump on, you know, Pirate Bay or whatever to go and take care of their TV watching needs. And this is, you know, it's funny. This is what happens. It's like, if you make music hard to obtain or use or listen to or whatever, people will take the path of least resistance. And that was, at the time, you know, 20 years ago, just downloading this shit. And then 10 years ago, it was like, why would I pay for $300 a month for Xfinity? I'm just gonna download the damn shows, and then that was it. Then you don't have to pay for TV. Yeah. How many different HBO subs are there now? Yeah, HBO Plus, HBO Max, HBO Now, HBO Then, HBO. There's so many of them. Oh man. And lastly today. Oh my God, we made it. Oh, hold on. Last, and I guess not least, I don't know. We have a new update from Yes. Smash Worms Royale. 32 players. 32 players. You can customize your worm. What else? Crossplay, real-time combat. Basically, it doesn't really sound at all like a Worms game. It doesn't sound at all like a Worms game. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't look fun. I mean, honestly, it doesn't look terrible. But it just doesn't look like a Worms game. I was looking forward to having, 32 people in a turn-based-ish Worms game, kind of like Shell Shock Live. We have a bunch of people in Shell Shock that we play, and that's a lot of fun with like 8 to 12 people, whatever it is. But yeah, I'm a little upset. At the same time, I'm not. Honestly, at the same time, I'm not. It's like, I understand that as somebody who's been playing Worms for a very long time, it definitely feels like they're kind of abusing the IP. But at the same time, all the other Worms games still work, and they're still good. Worms Armageddon, Worms World Party, like these games are still good. So, did I expect them to increase the player count for online play? Yeah, that would have been great. But what else are they going to do to make it better? They can coexist. Exactly. They could coexist. Honestly, I feel like this looks kind of fun. And if they keep all the weapons and they keep all the crazy, like the exploding sheep and all that stuff, like I'm down to at least give this thing a shot. Absolutely. 32 people work with the Worms. Number 32 would probably have a chance to play it all. Yeah, I'm going to play it for sure. Yeah, it definitely looks like I'm going to play. But I do wish that there was a turn-based Worms with 32 people. Which I know sounds ridiculous, but if you think it does, go look at Shell Shock Live. They have a system that works. They totally do. Is this a sequel to the same universe? I don't know if there's actually any kind of continuity to the stories with Worms. Honestly, I don't know. They do say that they have destructive environments. They're fielding a lot of hate on Twitter. I mean, if you look at their responses, people are very upset. It says, so no destruction, no tactics. For me, what makes Worms a Worms game is that's what makes a Worms game a Worms game. Without it, it's just a 2D shooter. And then they're saying Worms Rumble does include destructible elements. We'll show off more of that on the run-up to launch. And then it says, I have loved Worms since the first one. It's a fun turn-based strategy game you can play with your friends. This, however, is dog shit. It is legit Fortnite Worms. Whoever thought this was a good idea should be fired. I could make a better Worms. Hashtag dog shit. Hashtag dog shit. Hashtag dog shit. And they say, we've done over 25 years of turn-based Worms. We thought we'd try something different this time. And I liked that because you know what? I felt like that kind of set me straight because I felt like this guy. When I was like, no, don't do that to my Worms. But they're right. Let them try something different. I'll try it, and if it sucks, then I won't play it. And if people don't play it, then they won't do that again. They'll go back and make another one. but we'll have to wait and see. We don't have a date yet. All we know is late 2020. It's going to be available on PS4, PS5, and PC. I don't know why no Xbox. I don't know why no Switch. But maybe that'll come later. We'll see. Obviously, we'll get more information as we lead up to launch. Worms MMORPG when? I know. Looks better than Worms 3D. It does. Worms 3D is probably one that I think everyone wants to forget about. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on that. Of course, I love Worms, man. Dang. Makes you want to play Forts. Did you see the Laura Bailey tweet about death threats? Uh-oh. No, I did not. Laura Bailey, huh? Hold on a second. Let me go pull it up real quick. What is this? Let me see. No relation. It says, man, I try to only post positive stuff on here, but sometimes this just gets a little overwhelming. I blacked out some of the words because, spoilers. Side note, thank you all the people who sending me positive messages to balance it out. It means more than I can say. I don't know what happened here, but just want to say you should die, bitch. Fuck you. You ruined it. I'm going to kill you because Last of Us 2. Oh, this is her in response to what her character did? I'm going to find where you live and slaughter you for what you did to blank. Oh my God. Yeah. This is, so she's getting shit because of something that a character she voiced did. That's ridiculous. But this is what happens with social media, man. We're giving a platform to the gullible, to the insane, to the disturbed, to the stupid. Basically, go watch Idiocracy and imagine all those people on Twitter. That's what it is. That's what it is. Fucking stupid. Fucking. Did you see the video of the woman licking the window because she couldn't she didn't want to wear a mask? I will play that for you in closing. All I had to type in was licking window in Twitter, and the first thing that came up. All right, these are the kind of people that have platforms on Twitch. Or I'm sorry, on Twitch too, but on Twitter.
Oh Lord! This fucking I Am Legend. That bitch
She's mad because she doesn't want to wear a mask. Oh my god! What in the fuck? I gotta clean the feed now. Sorry. Yeah, go watch the documentary Idiocracy and get back to me, okay? You'll see what I'm talking about. Clear your browser cache after that one, yes. But this is what social media has done. We've given a platform to these people. We've given a platform to people that will throw death threats around for the most mundane of things. We're giving a platform to people who thinks that wearing a mask is infringing on their God-given right to breathe. Fuck off. It's a cancer on society. It is. And I can't leave it. I have to check Twitter all the time. Anyways, that's it. Thank you so much. Super long news show, almost 2 hours. That's gonna take 10 years to render. So hopefully I'll get that out as soon as possible. Hey, thank you for hanging in there for the entire show, guys. Thank you so much. Vaymar, thank you so much for the insight with the fighting game community. I appreciate that as well. And of course, all of you guys, thank you. This was news top. My dude, thank you so much, guys. I love you guys. I'll be back to Twitch you guys in a second. But for YouTube, goodbye. Boop, 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 boop. Doop, doo, doo, boop, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boop, boom. Boop, 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 boop.